We're fine. We have made Matty and Dave as well. Let's go live. I guess we
Sure,
are already.
sure,
Yeah,
sure.
welcome everybody. We're in our last session of the first day. We've had some very good discussions already. We had a number of different projects on, and then we had a group discussion, which finished around 13 minutes ago. We're now into our last session of the day, and we're really pleased to be able to welcome the team from Lune Finance.
Yeah.
Maybe, where are you guys calling from? Are you calling from India?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's go straight over to you guys, and please tell us more about the project and yourselves.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Matty. So can I just share my screen for the
Yes,
presentation?
please. All over to you.
All right. Thank you. Wait, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Ishan, the co-founder of Lune Finance. My second co-founder is Saeed. Uh, Basically, what we are building is a decentralized fundraising um, platform for projects to raise funds in a decentralized manner. So it's a unique concept. And before I begin, like what we are building, I want to actually talk about the problems and how we came about this idea and why we want to work on this. So one of the things what IU was all rage in 2019. In fact, back in 2017, the entire boom started with the ICO boom, which was one of the prime reason why Bitcoin went above $20,000, because everyone wanted to be in that ICO boom. But ICO also had its few of its problem. One of the major problems with ICOs was you couldn't verify how a project was. It was plagued by scams. Then came the natural progression of IEOs, where centralized exchanges said, okay, let us be the ones who will actually see, uh, take care of the project. We will vet the project for you. And you just have to invest in it because these projects are vet by us. And IEOs were a success somewhat. In 2019, they collectively raised around $1.7 billion, but they didn't have the success the way the ICO boom had. Like, for example, the biggest IEO, which the best performing IEO, I would is has been Matic Network, which was launched on Binance Launchpad. And if you look at all the IEOs, I think 240 IEOs were what happened in 2019. Out of which only probably 10 IEOs were the ones which actually gave a positive return on investment. In fact, the IEO or became, you can say, like a scam, where exchanges were just using IEO to make money. They weren't benefiting the community. IEOs were becoming expensive. In fact, to raise an IEO of $4 5 million, you actually had to make an initial investment of $1 to $2 million. Then how can a project actually do that? And out of the 15-20 exchanges which were doing an IEO, only two exchange actually had some good results on IEOs. So IEOs from this aspect has been a major failure, you can say. Like, not the most efficient projects, they never got the funding, as well as there was a lack of transparency in general as to why some of the projects were selected and why some weren't. And furthermore, there was also a lack of accountability by major exchanges. For example, anyone with some deep pockets could do an IEO without being actually held accountable by that exchange. No one was actually vetting the way they were supposed to, the way investors or people were promised back in 2019, a start of the IEO boom, that okay, the exchanges will vet the projects thoroughly. But that wasn't happening. Anyone with deep pockets could do an IEO, and that was that. And only the projects that had deep pockets, they had the deep connections with the exchanges, were able to do IEOs. Whereas others, you can say, more better projects never got a chance. And this is why we believe that the by combining the best aspect of the ICOs, that is the decentralized part, and the thorough research process which was proposed by the IEO model, we can create a better platform, a decentralized fundraising platform. And this is the entire Lune.finance what we are building. So this is our solution. It's a community-driven decentralized launchpad, and instead of calling it IC or IEO, we call it IDO. And it's completely community-driven. It gives fair chance to everyone, and the best part, there is no like those out of the box costs like $1 million. Nope, nothing like that. Anyone can apply to get their funds, to raise funds, and it's completely driven by the community. So uh, what's happening? Yeah, what is an IDO? So ID stands for initial decentralized offering. It's just a play of words based on IECO and IEO. It's easy to remember. It's basically stands for it's basically stands for community driven fundraising. And one of the two biggest advantage which we are providing is fair and equal opportunity for everyone, as well as giving an instant access to the community as well as the capital. Like in many projects, you have to build from the community from scratch, build the community, apply for capital, apply to private investors. Nothing like that. We're trying to give the community as well access to the capital through an IDO. And how it works. This is the interesting part, like how it works. So one of the things is that the entire decentralized platform, Lune Finance, will be controlled by something called a token called as Lune token. So what happens is a project first pitches their idea, and their idea is stored in a smart contract, which can be seen by anyone. Let that physical copy of their idea stay there so that anyone can actually vet and do the thorough research behind the project. The community votes on whether they want to actually, is the project good enough to be considered for fundraising on Lune Finance or no. The community comes on a consensus, and once it goes to consensus, it goes to the next step where the investors invest. Investors can invest through stable coins, Ethereum. So currently our current network is Ethereum network, so they will be able to invest in some supported ERC20 tokens like USDT, DAI, ETH as well. And this is one of the advantages which we are bringing. And once an investor subscribes to the investment, the funds are given to the project. And here's the interesting part, how we are actually better than other platforms. Number one is that the funds are not released at once to the project. The funds are locked in a smart contract, and funds are gradually released based on the voting mechanism, voting by the community. So the community has to come on a consensus as to whether the project are releasing its goals or not. If they are not reaching their goal, the community can actually vote for the money to be sent back to the investors. And uh, we take a 2% fee for the money raised. So, for example, a project raises $5 million from Lune Finance. So, 2% of the raised amount goes to the Lune token holders. Uh, so this, we have created a framework for the community to effectively vet the project. So like anyone can actually vote the project. So when they are voting, they actually have to look at a few pointers, which are community guidelines, which they have to follow, which is actually look at the team, look at the roadmap, look at the information provided by the project, look at the what stage they are. So community has access, anyone has access to this information, and community's job is to actually thoroughly vet this guy. For vetting the project, they are rewarded with the token of that project. once the fundraising is done, as an incentive for the community to vote for the best performing projects. So this is the Lune token, which is basically the underlying token for Lune Finance. So total supply of Lune token is 50 million tokens, and we have a unique kind of a model, which is inspired by the Bitcoin's model, which is our Lune token model used in Lune Finance is an inflationary token. By what I mean is, over time, the value of Lune token is going to rise. That is because every time a Lune token is used on the Lune Finance platform, for example, for voting or for putting a new project or coming to a consensus, Lune token is completely destroyed. That is, over time, more the IDOs happen, there's the less total supply of Lune available in the market. This was inspired by the Bitcoin network as an incentive for the community, the loan investors, as well as the holders who are not participating in the Loan.finance network to have an incentive for holding the tokens. So it's a layer 2 token, and it's built on top of Ethereum network. And in the future, we plan to actually expand into other networks, but that is down the roadmap, not within the 2021 year. And the initial Lune price is $0.25 per Lune token. As for the distribution angle, we are keeping 5% for the advisory team, whereas 25% is being kept for the community. 35% is being kept for the platform development, and the rest is kept for operational as well as legal expenses. Mhm. So this is just like what we are in entire goal is. This slide just says that we want to create like a decentralized, smart, decentralized fundraising system. In fact, if you look at in the past, like every civilization, whoever has solved the problem of getting capital efficiently to the right people has always thrived. And we believe like if we can solve this problem of getting the right projects, the right amount of capital, um, we
Ishan,
believe,
Are you moving the slides at all?
yeah.
I
Okay.
think screen is frozen. Can you just reshare the screen? Because I
Yeah,
think the
because you're sharing some other screen and you're moving on some other screen. We never moved from the first page of your slide.
Seriously?
yeah, yes.
Oh, can you see my slide moving?
No,
No,
not
no,
at all.
no.
Oh my God. I've been just blabbering without the slides. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yep. Let's try changing one.
You're back again to the same page. Anyways, let's um yeah,
Yeah,
this one's moving. This one is
yeah.
moving for the first time.
Perfect. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I didn't realize it. I couldn't see that whether my thing is working.
Can you quickly move on to the team page?
The team page?
Yeah. Or wherever you were, or did you complete?
Oh, no. So I
Okay.
was just explaining the Lune token ecosystem of what the Lune token was and how
Dave,
it
would
will
you
be.
want them to repeat, like give a quick run?
No, I think why don't you go through this? Let's go back to the second page and just briefly go over each page so we at least can see. I think I was listening pretty intently, so I think it will make sense.
Yeah, so
And then follow on from where you left off.
Yeah, problem was clear, solution was clear. I just sort of lost you when you said we are a layer 2 token, layer 2 system, and then you said on Ethereum. So I probably misunderstood or misheard something. If you can take it from the technology side,
yeah,
please.
so this is the token side where I mentioned the layer 2. So by layer 2, I mean we are a smart contract based system. We are built on using the Ethereum network, but in the with layer 2, I mean we are not using just the Ethereum token. but we are also using different ERC20 tokens, which can be used for fundraising aspect. This is the layer 2, by the token type of layer 2. That's what I mean.
So you mean your token would be
Gotcha.
available, a partial supply of your tokens would be available on multiple chains?
Yeah,
Something like that?
not that,
Gotcha.
not that. I mean, like for fundraising for the smart contract, you can also use ERC20 tokens as part of fundraising through the smart contract.
Gotcha.
Yes. So this was the token side of it. Uh, yeah. So I was just showing this what our real goal is of decentralized fundraising and why we want to improve upon it, as we mentioned the problem. And so this is a brief overview of our roadmap. If you are interested, I can share you the detailed roadmap as well with you. But we are starting from this year onwards, I think. So we have started the seed fundraising for the project, as well as started working on the project. And we are targeting quarter 2020, quarter 2 of 2021 to have the beta launch of the product ready. And our goal is to launch this platform by quarter 3 2021, so the and hold our first IDO there. Over that, we are doing other stuff. This is the team. There's Syed, who handles the marketing and business aspect of it, and then there's me, who is handle technical aspect of the entire project. We both Why we are uh, doing it is because we are from the exchange background. We used to work for OKEX, which is one of the world's largest exchange, and we have had brief stints in other exchanges such as Hobby. And we have been actively looking at the fundraising part, as we have, and Syed used to handle the marketing part and I used to handle the business development part there. And we have personally seen how you can say how messed up the IO system has been and why we want to actually change it. And we believe that decentralization will change this entire industry. Thank you from my side. So, any
Okay.
questions?
Thanks, Ishan. Appreciate the presentation. So we have some questions straight away that are coming up on social media. So one of the first ones is, how do you plan on engaging with the community?
Sure. So let me just jump in and answer that. Basically, I think building the community for the Lune.finance from scratch is a redundant activity, is what we feel. Rather, we have chosen an approach where we would be ideally partnering up with already existing reputed communities in the DeFi space. DeFi as a space is a very niche space, and there are only a handful of communities which are considered to be actually legit, which is why we are already in talks with bunch of communities. Since we have also worked with a lot of DeFi projects doing consulting for their growth and stuff, we are already in touch with them regarding them coming in as stakeholders, and actually in the beginning the community admins, and they would be a part of screening the projects and actually voting on the projects legitimacy and everything. So first, we want to leverage their stronghold community ideas. We are also in talks with a bunch of crypto influencers, Twitter influencers, especially in DeFi space, and that's pretty much why we are actually looking out for fundraising. Because the whole project is based on community and marketing, and which is why I think a bit of incentivization would make it a lot easier for us to accelerate the process, complete process. Yep.
Gotcha. Maybe we can move the pitch out of the way now, guys, so we can see the team a bit more clearly. So I think this was kind of answered, but there is a question in there that's referencing the L2 scaling solution. I don't think it's so much like in L2, like kind of secondary protocol. For what I understand, it's
True,
more
true,
a
true.
case of you're providing a number of different ERC20 tokens to be used for collateral. Is that correct?
Yeah, true.
Gotcha. Okay.
Basically,
So
we want we want to make it easy for everyone who is holding any sort of DeFi tokens to be able to invest into projects that are looking to raise funds via Lune platform.
Gotcha. So what kind of incentives would there be for people to use your platform? Is it more along ease of use? Is there some financial incentives? Have you got any ideas in terms of that that you can explain or present to us today?
Sure. One of the biggest incentive for using Lune Finance is the ease of use, and it's completely community driven. So, for example, a project just comes, they just put their idea on smart contract for the community to vet, and once the community goes to the project and votes on the community, uh, what the way we have created an incentive structure is that every stakeholder from the project to the community member to the investor all are incentivized in some way or the other. So for a project, their incentivization has is that they are able to raise the funds. For community, the incentivization is that if they actually select a really good project, they get access to some of the free tokens which have a chance of pumping, and which they're getting access to free tokens of the promising project. And for the investor, they are getting a project which is thoroughly vet by the community believes in that project, and that's why they're investing in it. And there's a good chance that that project will give good returns uh, than a project on an ICO or an IEO.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and
So
just to add on, in terms of tokenization, we are actually looking forward to make this a deflationary model for our tokens. Basically, what it means is ideally after every project, the number of tokens that are spent on that particular project for voting or any sort of activity that they would be rating a project would be ideally burned, and the market cap value would be distributed on the existing tokens, which is why there is always demand and supply that is being maintained, and which is how we want to ensure that the complete the motive to hold loan tokens still exists after a period of time.
Gotcha. So a couple of questions around that then. So correct me if I'm wrong, but what the strategy here, the utility, is really around providing a token that people can use in terms of almost kind of like a crowdfunding community structure where you provide projects that are looking to be funded. The community use the Luna tokens by giving them the ability to access these different deals at the raise level, and it gives them the ability to have an active role at the very early stages of that funding, as opposed to right now where a lot of the bigger funds or whatever might come in, take the opportunity to invest very early, and then the public are coming in quite late and missing out maybe the best pricing. But at the same time, by having your token, they also get the secondary opportunity, which might give them additional earning potential because of the deflationary nature of your token. Is that kind of a good summary?
True.
Uh,
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Exactly.
that's pretty precise. And a couple of more add-on features that I would like to add on to what you've summarized is basically what happens is the amount of fees that a project pays for IEO listing is basically rewarded back to the community at different stages. So like Ishan said, we would be giving out the 50% of funds right after the fundraising, and the funds remaining funds would be released as soon as they meet the certain product roadmap criteria that would be set prior to fundraising. So every time the funds are released, there would be proportionate distribution of that particular tokens to the loan holders, which again gives them extra advantage of holding loan tokens. And for the projects, it would be another incentive to actually increase the token supply in the market.
Gotcha. So a couple of questions. This is quite an interesting model. I definitely take my hat off to that because it's something quite new. So good for you guys. So
Yeah.
let me throw a situation scenario at you and let me kind of feedback how that works. So let's assume a project right now come to you and they're looking to raise some capital. Do they have to do everything through you, or can they use you for a portion of their raise? And how would that work if in either case?
So a project here decides how much money they want. Ideally, we would prefer early stage projects which actually have the maximum return, but a later stage project can also go. So to actually raise the funds, they have to lock in the amount. So for example, say a project comes which wants to raise say $1 million, and they have their token name is XYZ. So they lock in $1 million worth of XYZ in our smart contract. So that means that is available for the public for they want to raise funds on that 1 million XYZ token. The public actually has access to that 1 million XYZ token only. The project dictates the terms of how much money they want to raise, at what price they want to raise at, and at what stage they are raising at. And the community decides. So if it's a later stage project, the community might find that it might not be worth, and the community might reject it. But the project says what they want, looking for in a proposal, and the community decides whether they want to move ahead with this proposal or not. In the future, not in the initial side, but in the future, we were thinking, we are just thinking on this, we're thinking out loud, that whether we want to be able to community to actually dictate how to the project that okay, not now, but if you go if you can reduce the supply of the token, we can pass on the project, something like that. But that's still debatable right now, not in an initial roadmap.
Okay. I mean, it's definitely a very, I think it's a very brave kind of process you're going through, because I can see a lot of potential competitors out there, even exchanges themselves, right, who want to control a lot of these raises. But I guess what you're kind of saying is you're building into this this DeFi space right now, where decentralization is really much about giving the power back to the individual investor, and them dictating kind of the terms back to the project. So I guess it will be a very interesting journey, and we'll see how it plans out. Someone did sort of put a question to you guys, so I want to pose that to you straight away. What's your plan B if the sales channels are interrupted? I guess they mean is what happens if, for instance, some of these projects decide that they don't see the value of working in a structure like yourselves. Do you have another way that you think you can engage?
What do you mean by like not working on the structure which we have? They don't like the terms like the community voting or something like that?
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe for them they might feel slightly exposed in putting all of the power into the community. So do you have a secondary way of kind of maybe plan B to that?
Not really, because if a project is actually, unless the thing is that you will only find very small portion of really good unique ideas which are not worth sharing with anyone and doing it on your own. But generally what we have seen is when the ideas are exposed, people get good feedback, and that's when people want to raise funds, right? If a project doesn't want to share the idea, how can they raise funds? Then they can go via private investors. Why do they want to do a public sale? This is mostly for the people who are looking to raise through a public sale model, something like how Kickstarters, why it's like the same difference of why go use a VC fund when you can actually use a Kickstarter, right?
Gotcha.
And
So,
just to add on, I think that's a very legit question that some of the users has asked. Just to tell you where we are coming from is basically there are n number of ideas that exist in today's current market space in terms of building on blockchain or DeFi or CeFi, whatever be the case. But then only the projects that have the team behind the project that have good connections, investor connections, and something of that sort are getting access to funds, and they are actually able to move ahead with the project, and which is exactly what we want to change. any layman developer or any layman business growth guy who has an idea to just he believes in that can actually make a difference, can actually come on to our platform, appeal it to the community, and try raising funds. And I think that getting the trust from the community in the initial phases is definitely one of the biggest tasks that we would be facing in terms of building the trust. But then once the people see a couple of tokens that are performing well, and the whole process that we are going to make so transparent, people will start believing in the decentralization, and which is exactly what we want to solve.
Yeah, no, I like that. I mean, I think
Awesome.
I do agree with your point about not worrying about what other people are doing right now, and more focus on maybe solving solutions to problems,
Yes.
which is giving people that don't maybe have a voice right now a chance to invest. Okay, I think Matt has some questions. Maybe that pass.
Nah, yeah, I was just gonna say our next pitch is starting in about 10 minutes. So Gaurav, did you want to step in here?
No, I think we're good to wrap. We'll take it to the next session quickly.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Atik is in the, or I don't know if Atif is in the waiting room
he's
yet.
in. Yeah, he is.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here?
Yeah, just next to me on the feed.
Can't you see me there?
Yeah.
All right,
No,
perfect.
Atif from Yap.
Yeah.
No, not
Okay,
Atik.
okay, that guy. Okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
that guy. Okay.
So
Cool. So like, we should break up from this one to join the next stream.
Definitely.
Thank you, Saeed. Thank you, Ishan. Looks like a very promising project. To the least, I think there's a good synergy for the TradeDOG ecosystem, where we obviously will be having tons of projects coming in, and it can be a good collaboration if it happens in the long run.
Awesome.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
thanks for your time, guys.
We've also
Thank you, guys.
shared our roadmap via email. I'll just share in more details so that you can have a look at them, and actually, we can sync back if possible later.
Sounds
Lovely.
good.
The
Sounds
team
good.
would still be in connect with you. They'll be